Hello, hello. Welcome to the Vampire Wife Show. I am the Vampire Wife. If you're new here, welcome. It's nice to meet you. If you're not new here, welcome back. We're trying out some new things as I figure out how I want to get around YouTube. So this week we're going to try more of like a podcast type vibe. So I'm just going to share with you some things I want to chat about. I have my glasses off right now because I wanted you to be able to look into my eyes for the intro, but I actually can't see shit, so I'm gonna put these bad boys back on. Some of the things I want to be going over this week are some of the type of content I've been watching recently and how I rank it, as well as just some activities I've been doing for the holidays. One of which I want to bring back. I did glitter glue stockings, like 2000s-esque type glitter glue stockings. Pretty pumped about it. I put it on yesterday. It's all dry. This is my son's name. I'm just kidding. He's not my son. He's a dog. But his name's Diego. So this is his stocking. I'm pretty pumped with how that turned out. So that was one of the Christmas things I've been doing. I also have a bunch of dried oranges that I've been hanging around the apartment. I need to go buy some thumbtacks because everything that we own that I have on the wall right now is currently taped on that I keep having to retape every few days. So I need a better way to secure it. So I will go get thumbtacks at some point, whatever. But that's what I've been up to holiday wise for the last couple days. I want to do some holiday baking. I'm probably going to do it this weekend. I want to do a gingerbread house. My husband and I made a gingerbread house a couple years ago, and so I like to bake the gingerbread from scratch. And the first time we did it, I was like, I don't need to measure. I know exactly what a gingerbread house looks like. So I just kind of freeballed it, and I'll insert a photo right here of what it turned out like, because it was so slanted and lopsided. It looked like a serial killer gingerbread house. It looked so spooky. But I loved it. I thought it was charming. And then I posted it on Instagram, and that's where I learned it looked like a serial killer house. So, hey, not nice. Hey, you're bullying me now? Whatever. But yeah, so hopefully we can do that this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. It's already December 11th, I think, so I kind of need to lock in for the holidays. They don't tell you that when you grow up, is that all of the magic of the holidays growing up was your mom or your dad. They don't tell you about that. Sorry, I was going to use this as a microphone if I ever get nervous. I get weird when I'm talking to myself. I know that people like talking in their house when they're home alone and stuff like that. I am not like that. If I say any noise out loud, I'm embarrassed, especially when I'm home alone. I don't know. Maybe that just means I'm insecure, but I'm trying to get more comfortable with it. This feels better. This feels a little bit better. I think it gives me authority. It is just a duster brush, but it gives me authority. But anyway, yeah, so I need to get on the Christmas stuff. Oh, your mom is Christmas magic. Some of the traditions that I did growing up, I'm realizing now were just all of my mom. Of course, my dad was there when we did Christmas tree decorating, because we would always buy a real Christmas tree the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and then we decorated as a family, and we'd have Scrooged on in the background, which, by the way, now saying as an adult, don't show that to your children. It's not the most inappropriate movie. I just don't think I should have been watching it when I was 8. But we would decorate as a family, and then my dad worked a lot, especially December's peak season for everybody. So he'd be gone a lot. And then my mom wasn't huge on cooking when I was a kid. It's just not her thing. She doesn't like it. She doesn't think she's good at it. So she just didn't really do it. So for the most part, she did a lot of whimsical craft type stuff. So we would have a Polar Express night where we would watch the Polar Express and wear our pajamas, and we'd have loaded hot chocolate and stuff like that. Because my mom was not a mom that was afraid of sugar at all. And that's not a positive or negative thing. I did get a kidney stone when I was 19 years old, and I had to change my diet a lot. But there was a lot of magic that happened in my childhood that I don't think a lot of other kids had the privilege of experiencing because their parents were like, ooh, we gotta eat healthy. You should eat healthy, and I am gonna be a lot more strict with food. Not strict with food, but I am gonna give my children a bit more vegetables than I was forced to eat as a kid. just so that they don't get a kidney stone at 19. But you know, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, so we would do Polar Express night. We would also do a lot of Christmas crafts. So like we would do like the handprint reindeers or like make your own ornaments and things like that. And that was all really, really fun growing up. Or we do popsicle stick snowflakes or the paper stars and stuff like that. And so I really want to get into doing that type of stuff. We did just move here, so I don't really have any craft supplies, but as the years go by, I want to become the magic that my mom brought to holidays, I think. I really want to start implementing that. I'll take these off for a little bit. They're casting crazy shadows on my face. I'm sorry. But yeah, you just don't realize how much effort your parents were putting into holidays until you're the one that has to do it. And so now it's just my husband and I. So thank God that gives me some time to practice before we ever have kids, because I don't know if I'm ready to fully be the magic. I want to be. I definitely want to be, but I just don't know. Like, it's just a mindset you have to get into, and like creativity. Like, I love to paint, but that's kind of where all of my creative flow goes. And then like sometimes into food, I get like creative inspiration. But all the crafts that she would come up with, and this was before we ever had cell phones. Like, my parents didn't have cell phones until I was 16 years old, and then that was when I got my first cell phone too. It was just because the whole family got them at the same time. So my mom was just free-balling this information, maybe getting some of these ideas out of a magazine. So, I don't know, real impressive stuff. It was like my mom had ideas before Pinterest did. So, I gotta get on that level. But pulling away from Christmas traditions, what I've been doing with my husband is, you know, since it is Christmas time, I think of Hallmark movies, but I also don't really enjoy Hallmark movies. They're like a little too cheesy for me. So we've been watching like rom-com-esque type movies. And so I want to rank those from like best to worst of what we've watched in the last few weeks. We've watched 6 rom-coms. I'm going to tell you where I rank them and why. At number 6, the worst one we've watched so far was Happiness for Beginners. This seemed like it was going to be really funny based on the trailer. It was supposed to be like a woman just got divorced, she went on a hiking trip, she's bad at hiking, tee-hee-hee, lots of like setup for comedy jokes. So I thought it was going to be really good. Also, there were some like real stars in this movie that I recognized and I thought were going to be like super good, and there were. A lot of the side characters, so funny. It's just the main character, which is played by a great actress. I don't remember her name, but she was also in The Office. I'm not saying she's a bad actress at all, but that movie, she was such an unlikable character, and she was so stubborn and like, I know everything. And so like the beginning of the movie shows her getting married and her younger brother's there with his best friend. He's like, you shouldn't be marrying this guy. You know that, right? And then she's like, whatever, don't say that on my wedding day. You know, I know better. And then it flashes forward to 6 years later and she's divorcing that guy because he cheated on her. And she's still like, oh, whatever, I'm going to go on this hike up the Appalachian Trail, which, by the way, would love to do. She signs up for this group hiking trip where it's like, I think 7 or 8 people that are all strangers that decide to hike up the Appalachian Trail. I would love to do that because, one, I am a coward by myself, but in a pack, especially they have like a hiking leader, I think that would be really helpful. I think that would be a really cool life experience. But anyway, so she signs up to do that, and then her brother's best friend also signs up to do it because he finds out she's going, and then you find out throughout the movie. I am going to be doing spoilers. So if you hear me mention a movie and you don't want a spoiler for it, just skip ahead, okay? So, anyway, you find out throughout the movie that her brother's best friend has been in love with her the whole time and stuff like that. And she's just kind of like, I don't know, she's like, oh, I want him, but I don't want him. But there's not like a lot of chemistry between them at all. It's just like clearly like her younger brother's friend had a crush on her before and she did not care at all. And so like they end up together in the end, and it doesn't feel as satisfying. You know, it's kind of like, this was 2 hours of my life that was very whatever. But I do want to give a shout out to two side characters in that movie. There's a girl that plays a girl named Kaylee, I believe. She's so funny. She's supposed to be like a super floaty, like stupid girl, but also she's like a Wall Street boss and she makes crazy money, and she's like, she's just so like ditzy but really, really smart financially, and she makes me giggle a lot. Loved her in that movie. And then there's also, I don't know the name of his character in the movie, but he plays Mateo in Superstore. He's super funny. He plays the same esque type character, but the whole thing is like, he's like, oh, thank God, it's so nice to see another old person on this trip too. The main character girl, and she's like, I did not even, like, she's not mentioning her age at all, and he keeps just being like, us oldies, and making her so mad. That makes me giggle. That gave me a laugh. So those two, the primetime characters of that movie. So that was the worst one we watched. Number 5, we have Marry Me with Owen Wilson and J-Lo. That movie was so fucking bad. It was so bad. But it was almost so bad that it was like you could giggle about it. So it was like, it was absolute trash. Would I rewatch it? No, but I don't regret, like, it didn't feel like as much of a waste of time. Like, I enjoyed the terrible time I spent watching it, if that makes sense. Pretty much the premise of that movie is that Owen Wilson, regular math teacher guy, been divorced for like 10 years. His daughter thinks he's lame. She's like a preteen. J-Lo, superstar, of course, is getting married to another superstar. They're going to get married on stage while singing their new hit song, Marry Me, right? The night of the concert, Owen Wilson's character gets invited to the concert by his coworker who was going to go with a girl, but then that girl bailed on her. So she's like, just come with me, bring your daughter, because then she'll think you're cool, you know, and we'll all go to this concert together. And that concert is the one that J-Lo was going to get married at. Right before J-Lo gets on the stage, she finds out that guy was cheating on me with my manager. So she's like, she walks on the stage and she's like, oh my God, like, I can't go through with this and stuff. And then Owen Wilson is in the crowd holding the sign that his friend brought that says Marry Me, because that's the name of the song that they were going to release and get married to. So he's holding the sign, and J-Lo looks out into the crowd and she's like, yeah, you, I'm going to marry you. And then the rest of the movie, like, they got married on stage, and then the rest of the movie is like, we're just going to commit to this publicity stunt, right? And so it's just so cringy. It's like, can the superstar learn to be a normal person and make their own food? And can a math teacher learn the ins and outs of TikTok? And it just like, oh, that movie was where my husband and I drew the line, and we're like, I think we're going to stop watching movies made after 2018, at least rom-coms. Like, they're just not, they don't hit the same as those early 2000s rom-coms, you know? It's not anywhere near as funny, and also they are kind of cringe because they want to bring in like the cell phones and technology and TikTok, and it's like, I'm not anti-technology and I'm not anti-TikTok or anything like that, but when you make it so like, oh, let's TikTok about it when they're like 40, 50-year-old people, it's like, that's not, it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like how anyone would interact in the real world. It just feels very like, very meta, very fake, you know? So yeah, that was number 5. Would not watch again, but it was funny to watch once. So I'll give it that. Number 4, we have an oldie that I'd never seen before. My husband used to watch it with his mom, but didn't super remember the plot. So we watched it. It's an early 2000s movie. It's Sweet Home Alabama. That movie, again, was just like not my cup of tea. You know, like, I thought it was going to be funnier. It wasn't as funny as I thought it would be. Also, okay, you know what? I'll get to it before I just jump straight to the end. Because the end, I was like, what are we talking about? How no one would just be chill with that. So anyway, the premise is that this girl from Alabama goes up to New York, becomes a fashion designer. Before she went to New York, she had gotten married to her high school sweetheart. They had gotten pregnant. She miscarried. They were kind of like, I don't know. It seemed like they just weren't as close after that happened. She was like, I'm going to go pursue my dreams. Never divorced him, just left him, went to New York. So then she goes to New York. She's a famous fashion designer. There's this rich guy. Excuse me, sorry. There's this rich guy that she ends up dating. he proposes, and she's like, okay, but like, I'm gonna go home and tell my parents. He hasn't met any of her family yet. She's like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna tell my family. I would just prefer if I did that by myself. And this is when you find out she's still married to the first guy. So she goes down to Alabama and she shows up at his house and she's like, I need you to sign these papers. And she's all rude and stuff. And he refuses to sign the papers because he wants to inconvenience her, which is fair. And so pretty much like the whole movie was like, he was always in love with her. He was trying to make something of himself to like be worthy of her love and stuff like that. So he made this amazing glass company that has something to do with like what happened in their childhood, because they like fell in love when they were 10 years old or whatever. And so like he is a really good guy. But she goes back, and the whole time she's trying to get him to sign the divorce papers, she's just being mean to everybody from the hometown. Like, she's just, because, you know, you go back to your hometown. I don't know if you're from a small town, but I am. So you go back home to your small town. Everybody has 8 babies. Everyone is with the same person they were with senior year of high school, you know, and she's just being such a jerk about it. And like, I don't know. So she gets drunk. She's a jerk to everybody. He sees her be mean to everybody in the town, so he signs the divorce papers. She sends him off. So she starts planning the big old wedding to the famous guy, and they decide to do it in Alabama. And so they're doing it there, and at the wedding, her lawyer jumps in and is like, oh, wait, you can't go through with this because you never signed the divorce papers. You're still technically married. And then the new guy that she's with is like, you didn't sign the papers? Well, sign them. And then she's like, I can't. I have to go find my husband. And then his mom, rightfully so, is like, you're just going to let her embarrass you like that at your $1 million wedding that we paid for? And he literally just turns to his mom and he's like, yeah. And then just lets her leave. Hey, that was a whole relationship that you're just like, yeah, I'm not mad at all. We were going to get married and I planned on spending my entire life with her. But she wants to be with her boyfriend from when she was 17. So, you know, no sweat off my back. That's crazy. He should have been at least a little bothered. Not like just not being bothered at all is bonkers stuff. That's just a crazy scenario. That's an absolutely crazy. If you're in a relationship with anyone for any amount of time, especially, I think they were together for a year or something, year or 2 years. You planned on marrying this person. You are at your wedding for this person. This is who you wanted to spend the rest of your life with. And then last second, without like cheating or doing anything, they're just like, I don't know. I just want to be with who I was with when I was a teenager. That's mean. That's really mean. Don't suck me all the way into this relationship to do that. That's hurtful. So that's why that one was kind of like, whatever, you know, because I just felt like it was mean to that guy. And I know it's like, we don't care about rich people, dumb movie, you know, and it's like, oh, they were soulmates, they were together since they were 10. It was sweet, but it just felt like that was like a really messed up way to break up that last relationship, which it was also messed up for her to leave her husband and run away to New York. So like, genuinely, I just don't think that she handled relationships properly. But outside of that, whatever. So that's why it's in number 4. Sorry, I can't see. At number 3, we have All the Bright Places. All the Bright Places, very good movie. It has Elle Fanning in it and the main boy from Detective Pikachu. I'm so sorry. I know he has a name. I don't know it. I loved him in Detective Pikachu. I still love Detective Pikachu. We bought t-shirts when it came out when we were in high school. I loved it. It was great. Anyway, sorry, more serious note, All the Bright Places. This movie was about, pretty much, boy finds girl on a bridge. She's about to kill herself. He gets her off the bridge. Doesn't know why she tried to kill herself. So he goes and researches her, and it turns out that's where her older sister was in a car accident with her the year before or a few months ago or something. And her sister died on impact, but she didn't. And so then they're in the same class at school, and he's kind of a weird kid, so everybody's like, oh, fuck him, and he's weird, he has anger issues or something. He's like, he's a child. explore and then write a place that changed them and stuff. And so he's like, I'm gonna partner up with you. She desperately doesn't want to do the project. She tries to get her mom to get her out of it. Her mom doesn't get her out of it. So she goes and pretty much he tries to take her to like all the best places of the state and like make her fall in love with being alive again and stuff. Very sweet stuff. But then as soon as she starts being happy again and they start falling in love, he starts withdrawing and it's just like, where does he just what's going on? It seems like he's kind of like bipolar, where he has depressive episodes where he just kind of dissociates. And so he starts disappearing for a while. She's trying to help him and stuff. And it comes out that like he had an abusive father growing up, and he only lives with his sister now. The mom is never around. And so he goes to talk to his older sister, and he's like, you know, like, do you think the reason Dad is so bad? You think that like he could have been helped? And she's looking at him like, Dad was nuts. And she's just like, he sucked. You know, that wasn't anybody else's fault. Nobody could have helped him. He was the worst. And so he hears that and is like, oh no, because he thinks he's like his dad, because he has like violent outbursts where he just like disassociates and like fights other kids, which given those kids were bullying the fuck out of him, okay? They were being so mean to him. Also, it was the same kid every single time, and he was like, oh yeah, he smashed a chair over his head last year because he called him this name, and then he just continued. If I called someone a name and they smashed a chair over my head, I would never call them that name. Just learned my lesson. This dumbass white boy just keeps calling him the same name over and over and over again. I don't even remember what it was, but he keeps saying the same thing over and over and over again, and he keeps getting his shit beat every time, and then he keeps doing, like, learn a lesson, dog. How many times are you gonna touch the stove, you know? I don't know, sometimes it's learn. You gotta learn yourself, you know? So I honestly don't think that's his fault. Maybe that's me. But anyway, so his sister is like, I don't think Dad could have been helped. He was just a shitty person, and he thinks he's like his dad. So he goes and kills himself by like drowning in a lake and stuff, and it's very sad. And then he left like last notes and a last visit for Elle Fanning's character to go see after he passed and stuff. So it was a very sweet love story, and it was like, it felt like it was striving to be similar to like The Fault in Our Stars type vibe. I was looking for more of a like romantic comedy though. I didn't research the movie beforehand, so I didn't know it was going to be so sad. So that's why it's not higher on the list. But I mean, 3's fairly high. But yeah, so it was a good movie. I don't know if I'll watch it again, just because it also didn't hit as hard for me as like other sad romantic movies. Like my favorite sad romantic movie is Me Before You. Love that movie. Who's the main actress in that? It's the one from Game of Thrones. But I think she's gorgeous, and I thought she was great in that movie. But yeah, so that was number 3 for those reasons. Then at number 2, numbers 1 and 2, very closely tied. But number 2 was called Set It Up. Loved this movie. It was Glenn Powell and some girl. She's in other stuff. It might be the girl, I could be wrong. It might be the girl from Juno, but I might be mixing people up. So don't quote me on that. But pretty much, they're both office assistants. They're completely overworked. They're at work late at night. They run into each other. They're like, oh my God, we just need like the managers of our office to like, they honestly just need to get some. We should hook them up with each other, you know? And so they make all these like meet cutes and arrange like their manager schedules to like bump into each other and like fall in love. But the whole time they're controlling it, and over the process they end up falling in love with each other. I loved it. It was very cute. It was very funny. I would watch again, honestly. It was really good. And it was like fairly recent. I think it was like a 2018 movie or something. Maybe it was even newer than that. But it was really, really good. I liked it. It was also the first thing I've ever watched with Glenn Powell in it. I know a lot of people love him. I know he was real big in Twisters. But this is the first time I've ever seen him in something, which I thought when Twisters came out, he was a brand new actor. I was talking to my best friend about him and stuff, and she was like, she had also thought that, and then she was watching The Dark Knight Rises with her boyfriend, and he was in there, which that movie came out over a decade ago, maybe 2 decades. I don't know. I don't know that information, but a long time ago. So I thought Glenn Powell was new, but apparently he is not. So there's that. Our number 1 ranking is a movie I had never seen before. It is early 2000s. It honestly might be late 90s. I don't remember if it's like 98 or if it's 2002. But it is 10 Things I Hate About You. I loved this movie. I love this movie. It was so good. It was so funny. I like the whole plot of it. I like the way it came along. And so if you haven't seen it, pretty much, there's these 2 girls. They're sisters. They're opposites. Younger one, very bubbly, wants to date, wants to go out. Older one, very uptight, very serious, very feminist, very don't look at me, don't touch me, stay away from me type vibe. Younger sister is not allowed to date until the older sister is dating. So there's kind of a nerdy boy that wants to date the younger girl. So in order to date her, he has to find someone to date the older girl. In order to do that, he doesn't have money to bribe. So he gets a rich, like kind of annoying boy to think that he wants to date the younger girl. So he has him bribe a scary dude to date the older sister. And then the scary dude ends up falling in love with the older sister. And it is so good. So good. It's like not quite enemies to lovers, but it's right there. Also, soundtrack banging. So good. So good. Highly suggest. That was a great, great movie. So that was all the rom-coms we've watched for this holiday season so far. I have consumed a little bit of other media that I want to talk about because oh my God, I've gotten into some things this year that were just life-changing for me. So first and foremost, top of the list was, I'm a nail tech, right? And so I do any art that you want painted onto a set, I do. So I had a set request for Watership Down. It's like a 50-year-old story. I'd never heard of it. I asked my best friend about it. She's like, I think it's like with rabbits or something. She had started it but never finished it. So the girl that requested it, she told me that there's a show on Netflix for it. Sorry. There's a show on Netflix for it. It's like 4 episodes. Each one was like an hour long. Watched it. Holy shit. It was so good. It was so touching and deep. That honestly changed my life. It was so good. I highly suggest it. And it's like illustrated in like a children's show type of way. I was genuinely shocked by the art style of it because it looks like it's for children. And so there was the whole time that there's like a premise where pretty much the rabbits worship the sun. And in the beginning, the sun makes 1,000 enemies of the rabbits. And it's like, okay, I gave them all these gifts, but your whole thing is to run. And so he's like, you will have 1,000 enemies, and if they catch you, they will kill you, but first they must catch you. So it's about rabbits running from all of their enemies. And so, sorry, at the end of it, there's a rabbit that dies, and when the rabbit dies, they say, my heart has joined the 1,000, for my friend stopped running today. And that made me sob. That made me sob, because it's like my heart has joined the 1,000 enemies. I'm so like upset by the loss of my friend. I'm so angry. I don't like, oh my God, my heart has joined the 1,000, for my friend stopped running today. I don't know. I'm gonna get into reading the book, I think, but I don't want to read a modern translation of it. I want to read the original translation writing of it. I can get it together. Hold on. I'm sorry. It was so touching. And for it to be narrated from like almost a children's point of view, it was very, very good. So that was the most meaningful one that I've consumed. I'll show you the art set that I made based on it, because I don't know. If you know what it is, maybe you would like what the nails turned out like. But one of the other things that I watched that I really, really enjoyed, this was earlier this year, probably like September, October time, was we watched The Dragon Prince / The Mystery of Erebos. That's also a children's cartoon. It's made by the same creators that made Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that was really, really good. The whole story of it, if you liked Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think you would really enjoy this because it has more story, but like similar art style. Also, the voice of Sokka is one of the main characters in this. But they go through, it's like 6 or 8 seasons, somewhere around there so far. It might be 6 seasons. I think it's 3 seasons is The Dragon Prince, 3 seasons is The Mystery of Erebos, and then now they're supposed to make another 3 seasons of continuing that story. But the last season of it, or maybe, no, it was the second to last season of it, was so sad. I think we just spent an 8-hour day binging it and just crying, which I don't know if you need that in your life, but like that show made me laugh so hard, but it also made me feel a lot of feelings. And so, I don't know, shows like that mean something to me. So if you're looking for a new like binge watch, or like, I wouldn't put it on in the background, honestly. We were watching an episode every night as we ate dinner for a few months because there's a lot of episodes. But I highly suggest that. That was really, really good. Another thing that I watched that wasn't anywhere near as deep, but it was entertaining, was Wayward on Netflix. It's kind of like a suspense horror type thing about like kids going to a correctional school type thing, and then it's actually like a cult almost that they can't escape. That was pretty good. I would suggest watching that if you're looking for like a spooky vibe that's not like gore, because I like spooky stuff. I don't like gore though. Like I can watch some of it, but if your entire movie is just like slasher type stuff, it's not really my vibe. You know, it's fine, but I like to eat while I'm watching stuff, and that kind of is like, you know, I don't know, not my favorite. And then the last thing that I circled back to this month was I am a Bridgerton girly. I love Bridgerton. I read all of the books. I've watched all the shows so far. I do like some books significantly more than others in the series, and I'll get into that probably in another video. But I was just really feeling like Anthony's season, so we watched season 2 of Bridgerton. By we, I mean me and the dogs. We watched season 2 of Bridgerton, which is about Anthony and Kate. It's called the book is called The Viscount Who Loved Me, and so I watched that, and then I read the book also right afterwards, just to compare the two stories, because it's been probably 2 years since I've read the book, so I wanted to get a little refresher. And I remember the show being very different from the book, but liking both versions of the story. So in the show, it's more like he pursues the younger sister significantly more. So pretty much, if you've never seen Bridgerton, Anthony is the oldest of his family. He's like, I need to get married because I need to start leading the household and being a good example and stuff. So he decides he's going to get married this season. He doesn't want to marry for love though, because his father died when he was 18 and he watched it absolutely destroy his mother. So he doesn't want to like fall in love or be in love, because he in his head is like, I will never outlive my father, and he died at 39, so why would I fall in love with someone just to break their heart in 10 years, you know, because he's like 28, 29 at this time. So he's not trying to marry for love, he's just trying to marry someone who will raise smart kids and like be a good wife, head of household type thing. So he chooses the Diamond of the Season, which is the younger sister of the Sheffields. The Sheffields have Edwina Sheffield, which is the younger one, the Diamond of the Season, and Kate Sheffield. Kate is a spinster. In the book, she's 21 years old. In the show, they make her 26. And like, I don't know, I get that. The whole point of her being so old is that they only had enough money to go out for one season. So in the book, Edwina's 17 and then Kate is 21 because the mom didn't want to wait too long for her to have like no chance on the market. But in the show, they do make her significantly older. So, I don't know. They do change up the timeline in the show. And maybe I'll have a Bridgerton breakdown in a video later. Because I love to talk about Bridgerton. Obsessed with them. But yeah, so pretty much in the show, he pursues Edwina fully. Like, he goes and fully gets engaged to her and then doesn't call it off. He doesn't even call it off. It's like at their actual wedding to each other that she realizes that he's in love with her older sister, not with her. In the book, much different, he pursues Edwina, but before he does literally anything to show actual pursuit of her, he realizes he's in love with Kate and like kisses her, and then they're caught in a compromising pose, and then they have to marry each other. And then Kate is like, oh, you just married me because you were forced to marry me because you got caught and stuff like that. You don't love me, you don't think I'm beautiful and stuff. And he's like, girl, I'm obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with you. You're gorgeous. In love with you. I don't want to be with anyone other than you. That's what scared me. And so both pieces of media, pretty great, honestly. Really, really like. It's not my favorite Bridgerton story. Originally, Benedict's story and Colin's story were my favorites. That's books 2 and 3. But for the show, it's going to be seasons 3 and 4. I did not like the season for Colin and Penelope. Excuse me. It just didn't feel like they fell in love the way they did in the book. Like in the book, it like swept me off my feet, you know? But I don't know. In the show, it felt almost rushed. Like they were forced into it, and then it didn't feel like Colin really liked Penelope, even though in the book he's like, holy shit, I've been in love with her the whole time, you know? So it didn't hit the same. I'm excited to see what they do with season 4, because that's going to be coming out in January, I believe. And that's going to be Benedict's season, Benedict and Sophie, which is like a retelling of the Cinderella story in the book form. So excited to see what they do with that. But yeah, I think that was pretty much everything I have to talk about. So thanks for coming by. Let me know what you want to hear about. If you have any opinions on anything, go ahead and let me know. I think I'm also going to include a clip of my favorite nails from the last year after this, just to show you like a little year recap of what I've been up to. But yeah, thanks for coming by. Sorry, this video is after the fact, but I always say that I talk about nails on this channel and then I haven't yet. So I actually want to include a compilation of my favorite nails of the last year. At the end of this video. Sorry, my voice like cut out there. But yeah, so enjoy that. I'm gonna put that right after right now. Thank you again for coming. I'll see you next Friday for probably something similar to this. I think this is what I want to be doing for YouTube. If you're looking for more short form content or nail content, you can check me out on Instagram at VampireWifeNails. Also leave a comment below if you have any different opinions on anything that I talked about, or if you have any book or movie suggestions. I would love to hear from you. Yeah, see you next week.